Right, I'm just starting a recording here. I'm going to be just recording rather than live streaming. This is actually on the FIDE Arena website. I'm going to be playing in this tournament, FOA Friends Tournament. 3-minute blitz, it's 7 rounds, it's a Swiss style, so it's just a fixed 7 rounds. We're up to 305 players out of 500, just over a minute to the start. I don't have my second monitor on because I'm not live streaming, so I've got no use for it, but I do need to look at OBS once I start the game to check if the cameras are in the way of the board or not. I don't think they will be, but if they are, I can switch to just a single camera template, which I've used on this site before with a camera in the corner like that. But otherwise I'm going to leave 2 on. I just have to remember to check it once the board comes on, just to see if it's in the way or not. One thing I can say is, because there's not that many players on the FIDE Arena site, and there wasn't on the original version of the site, it has the effect that everybody is underrated, and I think you start off with a rating of 1200 when you get a new account. So you could get a GM or an IM or somebody who's good enough that one day there will be like that. With a rating of 1200 or 1300, it's, you know, you've got to largely disregard the ratings you see on screen. There are some players, say 2002, their mine's 1900 and something wherever I am in the list. Where am I there? 1986 is my rating there, because I've played hundreds and hundreds of games on the original FIDE site, a handful on this one, hundreds on the other one. So there's a few of us you can see with established ratings. Most players don't have, but it's not that that's their ability level, it's just that they haven't got many games on the accounts. So we're getting ready to start, so I need to remember to bring OBS on to check if the cameras are in the way of the board. So, but you really don't know from the rating on the screen that you see whether your opponent is actually at that level or not. So you just got to assume everybody's a GM, I guess. But I tend to play the same style against everybody. I don't vary my game just because thinking, oh, well, my opponent's only rated this or they're rated way above me, so I'll play differently. I play the same against everybody. So it should take about 45 minutes, I guess. There'll probably be, say, a 10-second gap or even a minute gap between rounds. 6 minutes per game, 3-minute blitz, so let's hope it starts soon. What are we up to? 307 players, so if it's an odd number, 1 player will get a bye. Right, so here's the game. Oh, there it says, yeah, 40 seconds till the game starts, so if I bring OBS on, I can just see that the cameras are perfectly placed for it. This is my lead chess template that I'm using here, and if I move the camera briefly to the other side, you can see on the screen there, it just gives you a few options like settings, flip the board and whatnot, but I want the camera on that left hand side. That's my lead chess template. If I play on chess.com, I need the cameras on the other side like this because the board is slightly further over. Lead chess, I'll leave it here. It looks like it's fine for the board. So as long as the board doesn't move, I will leave it like this. I don't actually know if I'm black or white. My opponent isn't listed there. So as long as the board stays where it is now, I should be fine with the camera. Your opponent has left the game. If he does not come back, you win the round, but that's disappointing, isn't it? That's very disappointing. Oh, it's got my opponent's details there by the clock. Are they visible? That's a slight issue. The clocks are in the corners. I might move it to the chess.com one. I didn't notice there. The clocks are in the top right and bottom left side, so I'll leave the cameras on where they're still fine. That's what I use on chess.com, that template. So you can see the clocks there, the clocks there. My opponent has just left. That'll be disappointing. That's a problem when you play a Swiss tournament rather than an arena tournament. If it's a fixed number of rounds and somebody thinks, oh, even if you're a few rounds in, I think, oh, I've lost a few games, I'll just leave, then it messes it up for other people. Yeah, so I've won the game, but that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, just to play games, not to get default wins. So I'll just click OK there, I guess, and then I guess I just wait for the next game to start. Bit disappointing when that happens, of course. Are these games actually going on? Is there an issue? Tell me there's not been that many defaults. Oh my goodness. Yeah. There's lots of ones there already. That means there's been an awful lot of defaults. I think that means there's been an awful lot of defaults. There should be moves happening here. It says there go to game, but I don't have a game, do I? You can see a little countdown there. showing the first round. It should be 6 minutes long. We should be able to watch one of these games. I don't know why it's not moving. You see lots of results there. Yeah, there's been lots of 1-0s, means that there's been lots of defaults. That's very disappointing. You see all the scores there. Just bring OBS up now and again just so I can check the cameras on. But it's not the fault of the FIDE, the people running the actual website, of course. It's people are registering for the tournament and they're not bothering to play it, unless it is a fault with the site and it's not allowing people to connect to games even though they're here. That, I guess that could be possible. I have no idea, no way of knowing. Disappointing though. If somebody has registered and then they've disconnected, that would be very disappointing. But I thought you could actually just watch some games in progress. Oh, there's one. Somebody's playing there. Can I just... I don't want to click on it in case it takes me out of the actual tournament though. Can I do it? It says 133 more boards. I have a feeling I can probably click on one of these games, like where they're underway, and I can watch them, but I don't know for certain. So I guess we're just waiting for all of these results to fill up. That's just the top 100. There's 307 players. Yeah. Hopefully it'll mean anybody who's got a 1 has actually turned up to the game. So hopefully in round 2 it'll only pair up people who've actually turned up. So hopefully it'll smooth things out as it goes on. That's the next batch of players. That's a bit unfortunate then. Let's just see if it improves in round 2. I'll stay here, whatever. I've got nothing else I desperately need to do, otherwise I wouldn't have joined the tournament. So we can see there's just a couple of minutes left of this round. Then there'll be a minute gap to the start of the next round. Let's hope we get a game then. I can see it says on my screen go to game, but I'm not sure if that means my game or go to a game somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't want to click on anything in case I mess it up. Will these pieces actually move if I hover over one? That game's ongoing. Or do you have to go off and back on again? Oh no, that moved, didn't it? A piece moved there. I can watch that, yeah. I can watch that game on a small little screen. Does it show up on there? I think it will. It should do, yeah. If I just hover on one. There's another one. Yeah, we can see pieces moving, so I can watch something while I'm waiting. But so you have to kind of largely disregard anybody's ratings, or because you just don't know how many games somebody's played. But I was on the old FIDE Arena site for a year, and my rating was imported across, I believe, when I got the Arena International Master title about 3 years ago now. So I've played lots and lots of games on the old original site. I've played a handful of games on this site. Not too many. But I've played a handful of games, tested it out. It's a nice playing experience, to be fair. Very good playing experience when the game starts. Nothing wrong with it. But it does have the effect, though, because there's not that many people on the site. You're talking hundreds, not tens of thousands or 100,000. Literally just hundreds, I believe. Well, there's hundreds in this tournament. There might be thousands, but there's not that many players online at any given moment. But it has the effect that everybody becomes underrated. Because it's very, very hard to build your rating up. Right, are they all changed now? That one's still ongoing. But you can see it says 1350 versus 1029. But anyone who's under 1200... they could have lost games from the default 1200 rating, but it could still be a far, far stronger player. It just might be that they've lost games to players who are also underrated and far stronger than what you think. So you just don't know rating wise who you're actually playing ability wise. So somebody's resigned that one. Most of the games are coming to a finish now, I guess. Yeah, that first round is just about done. I think we're on a gap before the second round. I'm not sure if I have to click go to game there or whether it'll just start. I'm hoping it just starts. I hope I don't have to click that. Ah, here it is. 40 seconds until it starts. That's my opponent there. 1204 rating. I'm 1986 because I've played a lot of games on the old site, as I said. My opponent could be new to this site. I have no idea if it's an accurate rating or not. But I just play the same against everybody. I just assume everybody is a strong player, or could even play a fluky good game, even if that rating was accurate. You just never know. So take everybody seriously. But yeah, the clocks I think used to be on the side here. I can't remember now. It's a few months since I've looked at this. So yeah, my opponent's clock is running. I'll play a Caracan. So I'll leave the cameras on the right hand side. I'll just bring OBS up. Yeah, they're fine. Let's take a knight up. You can't do pre-moves on the Fide Arena site though. You can see I'm trying to drag there. I remember that from trying it out. No, I played a game against Hikaru a month or so ago and he played the same line. It is a standard line, but I get the feeling my opponent's clearly stronger than 1200. Yeah, that's actually what Hikaru played. I'm just gonna castle. But yeah, the speed and the quality of my opponent's opening, I'm guessing they're comfortably stronger than 1200. I don't know, I've no idea. No way of really knowing, but I'm guessing they're stronger. I'm just going to play a knight up there. Take if he takes, but the good thing with this is there's no, like I said, there's no pre-moves, but it's the same for both players. Knight across to hit the bishop is a move. Knight across is a move. I'm just going to hit the bishop there. If takes, I could actually go with a pawn. I don't want to though. I'm going to play across and hit the bishop. But again, I can't actually pre-move to take back, but it's the same for both players, so it's fine. You just have to be ready to go. Now I'm going to take because he's hitting the pawn. Now I'm going to hit the bishop there and pressure the pawn. I don't actually have a direct threat though. I'm just going to play a bishop up and maybe bishop to d5. It's a very tricky position. Okay, so he's given me a pawn. Pawn up takes. I can trap my bishop in. I can play knight in first, I think. Let's play knight in first to hit the queen. Then maybe pawn to b5. Oop, I can't highlight either. I've got to remember that. Yeah, let's just go b5. Yeah, push is logical. So I've got to counter push. I don't think a sack works, but I might be wrong. Maybe it does now. I think I have to play f6 there to solidify the pawn. My knight can drop back so it's not trapped. Bishop back. Yeah, I'm confident my opponent is a stronger player than the rating suggests. Pawn up, I guess, is a move. I'm just going to push the pawn. I think pawn to e6 is a move. He plays in. I can let him take. I'll just push. I'm going to take with a king, I think, and drop back. If I take knight takes, he forks queen and rook. I could take with a rook, but I want it on the back rank. Oh, he's played knight in anyway. Okay. I'll play rook across because I'm going to take with a king in any event. I'm threatening to take the bishop now. Oh, I should have taken it anyway. Why didn't I take? Oh, well now I can play up, hit the bishop and I hit the knight at the same time. He's probably got to sack the knight to grab a pawn. I'll take with the knight, I think. I'm hitting two pieces at the same time there. I can't draw arrows like I can on Chess and Chess.com. It's still playable though. He could resign now. He might resign, but he doesn't have to. He does play on. I'm just going to take the knight, then take the bishop. Take with the queen now. He plays across. I'm going to take a knight across to hit the pawn, I think. Let's play across, hit the pawn. Rook across, maybe pawn to a3 to weaken the king. Yeah, he pushes, so I'll take. My knight's got an f8 square or an e7 square, but f8 guards the pawn, so I'll probably go back there. I'm going to push that pawn and try and do something about his structure. He pushes, so again I can push and sack. I don't like that though. Play queen up and pressure the knight. I'm aware of the clock, I'm keeping an eye on the time here. Let's play rook across. I think knight back to f8 is still a likely move. e7 up, I don't like that. I'm just going to drop the knight back, guard the pawn. Hope I'm not blundering. He pushes. I'm going to kick the knight and try and push again. Knight across. So if I take, what does he do? I think I can just take there, right? If he moves the queen, I've got bishop check, so I'm not actually hanging my queen. If he takes, I just take. I'm hitting the knight as well. Well, I've got bishop check. I think that just wins by force. Then queen takes, rook takes is checkmate. Excellent, very good. Smooth game again. You could tell my opponent's stronger than 1200. Stronger than 1200. Win a lot of games. Win a lot of games. Did very well. Well done. But yeah, it's not the fault of the tournament organisers, of course, if players register for the tournament and then fail to turn up or they drop out. But that's kind of one of the issues you get when you have Swiss tournaments. You know, a 7-round tournament, somebody could play 1 or 2 games, lose them, or lose a game they shouldn't lose, get annoyed and just walk away. Whereas an arena tournament, if you say we're just going to play for 1 hour, as soon as the game's done you just wait for somebody else who's there and you get on with the next one. So if I move the cameras briefly there, you can see it just shows a basic standing on the other side, but I need to leave the camera there so I can see the important information on the screen. But yeah, unlike other sites, there is no pre-move system, but because it's both players, it's actually fair to both players, and that's good. That's good. Right, so 40 seconds again until the next round starts. Now here I'm playing somebody who says 1144. Whether that's accurate or not, I've no way of knowing. I know my rating is pretty accurate because I built it up over quite a few hundred games, and it's kind of, I do rate over 2,000 on Lichess and Chess.com, but you get a much more accurate rating there because there's just, you know, that many more players, literally hundreds of thousands. When there's not many players on it, it has the effect that everybody gets underrated at pretty much every rating level. Right, so we're getting ready to go, so good luck. Now, am I white this game? Is this set up for colours? It is. So I play knight f3, my normal opening, the Reti. d5, c4, play traditional Reti. Takes, so I'll check. Again, I'll get a good idea fairly quickly the speed my opponent plays as to what rating level they're at. Knight up is a standard move here. Bishop blocks or queen up are the 2 standard replies. Bishop up you take, so you get the advantage of bishop versus knight. Now you want to play g3 here. He's castled very quickly, giving me a pawn. I think that's a mistake, but knight to d4 is a bit of a problem. Queen takes, knight to d4 is a problem to deal with, so I'm not going to grab the pawn. I'm going to try and play d4. And I'm just going to develop bishop this way. Still castle kingside is the intention. I'm just trying to gain some space. I could play queen up and trade. Now I can grab the pawn. There's no immediate threat. There's no queen check. But if I take... I don't actually have a square to escape with, but he doesn't have anything to attack the queen with either. I think I can grab it. If he moves a pawn, just trade the queens. But now my queen doesn't actually have any squares to move to at all. But I think I can play a move like a3 and give the queen a2 if I need to. Played queen down, so now I can maybe play b3 then. Oh, in fact, I can check. He's giving me a check. Just check immediately to get the queen out. Now I've got an option to come back this way. Now knight to c3 to hit the queen as a move. Then bishop up, but I want this other bishop move. The bishop on f1 to move somewhere and get ready to castle. It plays up. Okay, knight in is a bit of a problem. Bishop to d3 though, maybe c5 is a problem. I want pawn up, but it allows potentially knight in, but I think I have to kick the queen. Yeah, I'm going to do it. If queen down, I'll just take. Trade the queens, then rook to b1. Oh, I'll just trade the queen, then I've gained a pawn, so I'll trade the queen. So now I'll just go here and castle. Knight in, so rook to b1 and take if he takes. He plays in, so again I can take and then fork two pieces. I can take and then bishop to c4. He has got knight takes bishop, but I just take the rook. Rook across. Okay, it's got to be worth taking the knight. So now I can put the bishop back in the middle. Let's go back in the middle, chase the rook away, develop the other bishop. Oh, he's missed it. He just didn't see that I was attacking the rook. He'll probably resign now. He just hadn't seen it. But again, a tricky game. Even if that's my opponent's genuine rating and I outrate him by the thick end of 1,000 points, you can't take games for granted. And he's perfectly within his rights to play on. That's what he's going to do. Just develop the bishop. Oh, he's now resigned. Okay, so that's a win. Again, you can never take any game for granted, even when you are genuinely much, much stronger than your opponent on paper. We don't play games on paper, of course. There is a settings button there, as you can see, but I don't really want to click on it. It might take me, I don't want to take myself away from the tournament. I'll look at that if I play a random game against somebody out of a tournament and just see if any settings have changed. I quite like it like this, where you don't have pre-moves on at all. Everybody has to play at a relatively steady speed instead of trying to play too gung-ho crazy fast. But it's the same for both players, so it's fair. I'm not sure how I get back to the actual standings now, mind. When I didn't have a game in the first round, you could see the overall table. I know it says 19 so far, but it's only 3 rounds completed. Means 4 more to go. But again, my opponent did well there. If that rating is accurate, my opponent played very well for the rating. No silly, sloppy, horrific blunders. Just rest my eyes for a moment without my glasses. I just briefly move the camera, you can see just a little bit that's on the right hand side there, just showing the basic standing. Obviously for the actual game I need the camera on the right because the clocks are on the left. Shouldn't be too long now until we get ready for the next round. There, 40 seconds to go at the next one. Again, my opponent's rating here 1238, but again, if it's somebody with a relatively new account starting at 1200, could be somebody who's far stronger than me and just in the process of starting out. You just never know. No way of knowing. So I can see I'm black this time. I'm not sure what I want to play. I'll probably play a Caro-Kann again if it's e4. It's what I normally play, but it's nice to mix it up now and again, just play varied openings. Well, let's get ready to go. Good luck. Okay, it's d4, so I'll go knight f6. c6, d5. Again, I keep forgetting you can't pre-move. I'm not used to doing it on lead chess. Oh, you have to move the king too. On the other sites it's easier to click. The other site you drag it onto the rook. Yeah, I'm going to go with the knight. I want to leave the pawns intact if I can. He goes back, so I could actually take the knight. Do I want to? I'm just going to play bishop up. Okay, let's play... No, I don't want to play bishop, it feels like a waste. c5 I don't want to play. Let's play knight across. Bishop can take if he takes. Well, I'll play knight across. Maybe bishop to d6. Oh, now I can play bishop to d6 because he's played h3. But he's probably got to take. He could maybe get away with bishop to e5, but if he takes, I'll drag a pawn. He plays across, interesting, logical. I'm going to break the pin, so if he takes the knight either way, I can take with the other one. So I'm going to take. Now probably drop the knight back to e7 and across, maybe to f5. Again, if he takes, I can take, probably with the queen. Otherwise, knight to f5 hits the bishop, and he can't just drop back. If he does now, I can take. Knight up, bishop across is actually a problem. I'm going to play pawn up. The bishop guards the pawn here. Now knight f5 is a threat. If bishop up, then I'll take the knight. He's pushed. Again, logical. I can play up though and then take his bishop. He doesn't have to go back, he could let me take, but if he pushes e5, I'll need to move the bishop. Actually, I've blundered there maybe. e5, he's played it. I've got to take. If he takes the knight, bishop back hits the knight with a tempo, otherwise I'm hanging a pawn. So I'm hitting the knight with tempo, otherwise I'd be hanging my pawn there. So I'm going to play c5 while I can. If he takes, I can go with the bishop. He lets me take. Bit uncomfortable. I don't actually have a good move. I think I need to take, and maybe queen e8, very ugly. I can play bishop to d5, I guess, actually, that seems a lot more solid. He goes with a rook. Let's plant the bishop in the middle, not what I'm aiming for at all, this of course. Now bishop to c5 is a move though to hit the rook. He's playing very well though, he's clearly not a 1200. I'm clearly playing somebody far stronger than 1200. He's even ahead of me on the clock, so he's far, far, far stronger than that. Now let's play maybe Queen B7. Just to break the pin. We target the pawn if the knight moves. We're hitting a pawn on A2. Let's play rook across. Maybe the rook across. He pushes. It's a good move. I'll drop back and take with the rook. He goes across. I'm going to take. Threatening to take the knight. Potentially hit the queen. Okay. I'm going to play up and try and break this structure up, but yeah, he's clearly comfortably stronger than 1238, comfortably. Okay, now I can put the bishop back or target the pawn. I'm going to try and create a path for the rook, maybe queen onto the open file. I don't actually see a good attack right now. Now I've got bishop up or take maybe. I've got bishop up, rook moves, take, take. Bishop up, rook down, queen up. I think it's playable. If rook down, I think I've got queen d5. Otherwise, I'm going to take the knight and grab the pawn. Actually, just drop back. I'm threatening to take the knight, and if he takes, he hangs his rook. So I'm threatening to take the knight. So he's come up. But now the rook is cut off. If he goes up, I can take with the bishop. Right, I've got to get this pawn if I can. He's got bishop down, he goes for it. Let's play a rook up then. I've given him an advanced pawn. Could still be a problem. Oh god, the clock, I've just realised. I've only just realised the clock. What have I been doing? He's played really well, hasn't he? He's done terrifically well. He's done amazingly well, he really has. I can't win this, I don't think. What happened there? Did I win it? Oh, I won it on time. Won it on time. I was aware of the clock, but I didn't know I'd won it on time in the end. But clearly you can see my opponent is way, way stronger than 1200 there. Way stronger than a 1200. Did very, very well. Was outplaying me. Was a bit quicker than me until very, very end. But yeah, when you're used to using pre-moves, that's when it gets a little bit awkward. You just can't make them on this site, but it is fair to both players. Now here, Anonymous 1800. Again, could be underrated even at that level. What's this, round 5 now? I think this is round 5 that we're just about to play now. I think it's 4 rounds in. Yeah, I'm still not playing really crisply sharp though. If I play a strong player like this who's playing actually sharply, I'm still going to be in difficulty, I think. Okay, let's go d4. Let's just go e3. Knight up. A little bit less talking, a little bit more speed I think I need. Rook to e1 always makes sense in these lines. Let's play bishop up. I'd like the bishop maybe to go where the knight is. I'm not sure it's that great a move, but I think it makes some sense in h3 to stop bishop g4. Plays queen up, a rook across. And I think I need h3 to stop bishop g4, otherwise he might deflect my bishop. Oh, he pushes. What's my gut feeling like? My gut feeling is to take there. Right, give the knight a square back if it needs it. Bishop back to hit the knight. Okay, I thought I had knight up there. Let's play a knight up. If he takes with either, I take with a pawn. At least temporarily pin the knight. I have to take with a pawn, of course, not the queen. He has two pieces there. Oh, he's blundered his queen. He should just resign now. He might not do, he might play on, but he's hung the queen there. Very easy mistake to make. He's realised what he's done as soon as he's made the move, of course. He was just expecting knight takes, rook across. Very, very logical, very understandable. Again, at amateur level where we play doesn't mean the game is actually over. He might play on, he might just sit and run the clock down, but there's nothing wrong with using time to try and work out if it is feasible to play on or not. But hopefully he'll do one or the other. He'll either make a move or he'll resign and not just deliberately run the clock down. That would be a bit unsporting. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to run the clock down. It's a little bit disappointing. He might actually know how to resign. You actually see it if I move the camera to the other side. You get it, the annotation on this side, and you've got offer, draw and resign there. That's where you do it. So, see, but I have to have my cameras somewhere, so I'll put them back. Yeah, it's a little bit unsporting. He might not know, though. He might not know how to actually resign the game, but if it's done deliberately, then it's not very good. Not very good etiquette. But that means we're 3.5 minutes into this round then. 3 minutes for my opponent, half a minute for me. It resigns, but only with 5 seconds left. A little bit disappointing. Could have done that a lot sooner. So 2 rounds to go. But there's probably still a couple of minutes yet before the next round will start, I'm guessing. But as you can see, I don't see any obvious way to just... I bet it's that. I bet I can click there and go back to the tournament, but I don't want to do it in case I come out for some strange reason. I have a feeling I can click there and go back to the tournament and watch some of the games, but I'll just wait. Yeah, there can only be maybe a minute or so of the round left now. I'm guessing there can't be that long left. Again, let's just refresh my eyes a little bit. Rest my eyes in between rounds. That was what, round 5? I can't actually read that without my glasses on now. Yeah, that was round 5. So 2 more games to go. So about 15 minutes or so, give or take. Well, probably a bit less than 15 minutes. Right, round 6 is coming up. I'm black in this one. You can see I'm playing opponent rated 1670, who's in first place. I'm second place. Again, could be somebody greatly underrated. You just never know. Now, what do I want to play this game? I might switch to a Sicilian for this game instead of a Caracan if it's an e4 game, just to mix the opening up a bit. Or maybe g6. I might play g6. Let's just see what happens. Clearly my opponent must be on 100% score if they're first place, because I'm on 100% score in second place. So, okay, somebody playing extremely well. Let's play a Sicilian then, just mix it up. Again, I'll get a good idea fairly quickly from my opponent's speed and quality as to what sort of rating level they're at. Play bishop up and takes. I think knight across is okay. Yeah, I think d5 is okay. Got to be careful about the diagonal. Now if he takes and I take with a queen, there's no immediate discovery because the queen's guarded by the pawn. So it's okay to take. I've got to watch out for the diagonal though. A check there if I didn't have the protection of the pawn. If I castle, I've got to watch out for the immediate bishop h7 threat. Could be a threat. Okay, I think I need bishop up here. Create the mate threat and to stop bishop e4. Have I got rook to d8? Just to hit the bishop, possibly. So if I take, he can't take the bishop because it's checkmate, so he's just given away a bishop. Oh, he maybe didn't see a better move. So surely I can just castle now. Yeah, I think I can castle. You've got to go on the second square on this side. So now I just don't want to blunder everything, so what to do? Rook across is safe because it's on a light square, the bishop can't hit it. Bishop back into the middle of the board. Oh, what's he done? He's going to play bishop down, but that's actually fine. No, let's go back. Oh, and I don't have to go back, I can go forward. Just take with a king. Let's go forward, I can just take with a king. But I'm still a clean bishop up. Bishop to d5 to close the path down, and he's got no easy access for the rook. So I guess I might as well take, then I can just pin the rook next move. That should be good enough. Clean piece up. Unless he plays f3. He goes across. I'll just check and get rid of the rook. That should be winning. So pawn up, bishop back and take. He can't stop. So at the very least I get rid of his pawn. Then if I get my pawn pushed, then that's just a clean win. Okay, very good, very good. So that leaves me first place after 6 rounds. Because that was first against second. Ah, there could have been other players on the same score, of course. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm first. I've got my rating on this site over 2,000 now, very good. So that matches Chess and Chess.com, where I'm normally over 2,000, but very, very hard to build your rating up on a site, though, where everybody's underrated. You see that I only got +5 for that. My opponent could be far stronger than that rating, you never know. So that's a good rating on this site, very good at my level. I'll never get much higher than that. So we have 1 round to go. Actually, if I move the cameras again there, you can just see that little box on the screen I'm talking about, which says first place. So far, round 6 in progress, and my rating is now bumped up to 2003. I'll put the cameras back. So we have 1 round to go. What did we do there? I only used just over a minute, my opponent a minute and a half, so there could still be a couple of minutes of this round left, plus the 40-second gap to the next round. Again, I'll just rest my eyes a moment. So I think after the next game, I'm probably okay to click here. I have a feeling that takes you back to that grid that we had on the very first round, and I can then see the tournament end. I think I can probably do that. Depends how long the game lasts, of course. Then I'll have a look at them settings if I play just a random one-off game against somebody another time. I'll do that. Not in a tournament. I don't want to click on anything just in case it flips me out of the tournament. There can't be that long left now. It should be round about the last minute or so of this round, I'm guessing. It shouldn't be too long to wait. So I'm playing 1589. I can't quite read that. Andres Mitten, I think it says, but I can't quite read the writing there. I can see my own name a bit clearer there. First and third, we're both on 6 points, so it's really just equal first. I don't know if there's a tiebreaker in place, but because he's 6 out of 6 for both of us. So again, I'll assume that he's underrated if he's playing really, really well like that. Doesn't mean he is, but I'll assume he is. So this is the final round. So good luck. I'll stick to knight f3, assuming I'm white. I think I am. So I'll stick to knight f3. He goes c4. Do I want to play Sicilian or not? I'll play c4. I have a feeling that was a draw if I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. He might have offered a draw. Let's just go back at the pawn. Let's play a knight in. He castles. Okay, I'm going to play h4. He pushes up. Now that's dangerous. Knight back and bishop takes has to be a threat. I'm going to play knight back this way, line up bishop takes. Kick the knight, I'll take if he comes in as well. Now, do I take is the question. I don't think it's actually fundamentally sound, so I don't think I will. I could go g4 though. G4 is really tempting. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to play g4 rather than bishop takes. Now I'll take. He plays bishop down. So I've got check takes, takes. I can push the pawn. Knight up I don't like. He's got queen down, which is a bit of a problem, but I think I'm alright. Bishop down, takes, takes. I'm just going to play rook across there, I think. Threaten to take the bishop and grab a pawn. If he takes, I'll take with the queen. And I'm guarding the bishop as well. King up, so is bishop up a move? Pawn up must be a move. I'm going to play rook across. I'm not going to castle this game. I'm just going to play maybe king to f1. I'm threatening bishop takes, rook takes, maybe queen up. Okay, takes. Do I go with the king there? He's got queen check. I've got to go with the queen and take here. Okay, plays across logical. I've got rook up. Is pawn up playable? Rook c4, rook takes, pawn takes. I don't love that move. I'm just going to play rook across. Just can't afford to forget about my rook. I'm going to manually castle run the king across. Okay, I'm going to play pawn up. Just take if he takes. He's playing really well. He's completely outplayed me. I don't know why he offered a draw early on. No need to do that. He should win the game now. He goes that way. He's obviously got rook down. I'm going to just play rook back and king up. But he has outplayed me though. He's done really well, so he should be favourite here. He's been a lot quicker. If he checks, I think king g4. But I guard my pawn, so king g3 maybe. Let's play a rook across. No. Oh, king back isn't actually a move. Why did I do that? Yeah, now it's a move. King d2. He should have gone straight to b1 there. Right, now I'm going to push. He has outplayed me though, he's certainly played better. I'm going to take a risk and go this side. I'm just completely lost though, this is hopeless. I'm going to try and run the king up. Okay, I'll take a draw. If it's a repetition, I'll take it. Okay, that was a draw, so I think that puts me down to 3rd place. You've played all your games, see results, so I think I can click there. So I'm not going to win the tournament, but it says I'm 3rd. So I think I can click see results now, right? Yeah, that takes me back to this screen. So somebody's finished on 7 out of 7. I'm in equal second with that player I've just drawn against. But the games are still going on. Somebody's done very well, of course, to get 7 out of 7 there. Well done. So anybody can overtake us. There's players on 6, but they've all finished. 5%. I think I'm going to finish 2nd. I think that's going to be it. That's very good. I don't think there's anybody there still playing who can get past me. So I think I'm going to finish 2nd overall. So I'll wait for these games to finish. Assuming that they're all still ongoing. Or are they finished? I'm not sure. But yeah, looking at the standings there, it's not bad going 6.5 out of 7. 2nd place I should get, I think. You can see the 7th column, all of them are finished. So the highest players are on 5 points who are still playing. They're not populating. So if I get 2nd place, that's a very good result. Actually, I was so low on time there, I couldn't have won that game realistically. There it is, so that's the end. 2nd place out of 307. So that's actually very, very good. So that's a good tournament.